Welcome back to our Solid Blue Preview Show. I'm Jeff Piecoro. Well, the strength of this Kentucky football team is their defense. They return 9 starters for Brad White, and they're deep. 2 deep at every single position. This team is going to be tough defensively, and to win in the SEC, you've got to have a great defense. I sat down and talked to Brad about how tough this defense is going to be this season. I would say of all the coaches on this team, you have to be one of the most excited because of what you get to work with. You got 9 starters coming back. You got some depth. You got some transfers coming in. I bet you can't wait till Saturday gets here, can you?
I tell you what, the one thing, as a coach, you can't have enough practices because, you have a mistake here, a mistake there. You're like, oh, man, how many? We only get 25 before we start? Maybe can we get 28? But no, we're really excited. Obviously, return, a lot of experience, and as you mentioned, added some pieces that we're excited about and that have really integrated sort of well into what we do. And our guys have done a great job of sort of embracing them, taking them in, and so they can get used to sort of, 1, our standards, and then 2, our defense.
I know from your years in the NFL, retention is big because guys are usually there 2, 3, 4 years in a row. You've got a lot of guys coming back. So first day when you actually get out on the field, it probably felt like 2 or 3 weeks into practice because of what you could put in, right?
It is. Your early installs go really smooth. Things look cleaner on film, so you feel like you can progress. Again, but the big thing is to make sure that everybody's moving along, at that point. And you can't. We all know that injuries happen, and I think maybe at times in the past, when we've had some veteran groups, maybe we put in a lot or we move really fast, and you can't forget about, hey, who's waiting in the wings.
Talk about how the moving pieces that you can use. It's not really a set, these 7 guys are going to play every play type of thing.
Absolutely, and I think that's where that depth piece comes in, that we can move some guys around. You mentioned Alex, his ability to play both inside and out. Tyrese has gotten bigger, so he can play, both outside linebacker positions. JJ's added weight. The flexibility that we have with the defensive line. They can play both the field and the boundary. We've got some big bodies that can play, really all 3 positions, or at least the nose and the boundary.
I got to ask you about one guy in particular, and that's Deion, obviously.
Everybody sees sort of the physical nature of Deion. Like, they see this giant, you said grizzly bear, but then you look down below and he looks like he's got linebacker DB legs. And that's why he's got such quick feet and he's so light on his feet. But it's the way he approaches the game and his mentality and how smart he is and how he can read backfield sets, how he can read O-line stances. He gives you some, for a man that size, that he can drop into coverage and he can give you a couple of snaps.
Coach Stoops said that you can't do that this year.
Right, yeah. No, trust me, we'll have him going forward plenty.
You got basically 4 guys at safety who've played a lot. And then you have the other corner, but you brought in 3 guys from other schools, some big-time players. I don't think that there's a problem back there. A lot of people are saying, boy, that's the weakness of this defense.
Yeah, you know what? Time will tell, right? Yeah. Time will tell. But I do like, again, the fact that, yes, we have some really established safeties in the middle. We talk about from the start, it's about being strong in the middle of the defense. And, you talk about from our interior D linemen to the inside linebackers to safeties. Like, when you're strong down the middle of the defense, you can be strong against the run, and you can build from there. And so to have, 4 safeties that are SEC, quality starting safeties, whichever way you mix and match them, you feel really good about that. Obviously, Max had a phenomenal first year, as a starter, solidified himself as, one of the top, corners in this country. And he needs to, continue to build on that. He knows that. He has the talent. I feel like he's worked extremely hard this offseason to take that responsibility to be that guy. And guys will test you and challenge you. And I think he's up for that challenge. And it's going to be for the guys opposite him to rise to that moment.
I do want to ask you about one specific position because you've made tweaked it a little bit, I guess, and that's nickel, where you've moved Zion into that, and it's not going to be, I don't know if it's his primary position or what, but he's going to play both. But tell me the importance of that nickel, because a lot of people think a nickel, it's just another cornerback. He comes in, but
that what we call, that field overhang outside linebacker position can be so many different body types, right? You can put a big outside linebacker in there to take space,
like an Afari type,
like an Afari, like a Tyrese Fearbry, right? Like some bigger bodies there. You may not be able to get quite as sticky in certain coverages. Now you bring in a smaller body, you understand, hey, listen, maybe I can get, more, I can play more man, I can get more aggressive, but hey, listen, when they put tight ends to that side of the field, it gets a little bit harder to hold up. Right. So having a mix there, and, Zion brings a toughness and a savviness, to that position. And, again, one of the greats to ever play for us. I was lucky enough to be here for Mike Edwards' senior year, and you can change the game from that position. Right. When you have that savvy player, and Zion has some of those traits, some of those just natural football instincts. Really a good tackler, that Mike had.
Final question for you is just simply, the strength of this defense is what?
I hope at the end of the season, when everybody looks back, they'll say the strength of this defense was that they played collective together. Obviously, there are some areas where we probably have more experience. Obviously, everybody will look to the D-line, and obviously we need that group to play really well. But ultimately, the best defenses that I've ever been around, they play collectively well together, because nobody's going to play a perfect game for 12 games. Very few perfect games are ever played, period. But there's going to be times that positions of strength don't play their best game, so somebody else is going to have to elevate and play maybe above their level. And so we're going to need that. We can't say just this one group has to carry us. Like, everybody's got to pick up the rope, pull it, and so hopefully at the end of the season say collectively this was as good of a group that played for each other as we've ever had.
Appreciate it. Good luck this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Man.